Good morning, good morning. How you guys doing? It's Friday, March 22nd, 2024. Wow, boy oh boy, do we have a show for you today. We're going to take a look at the forecast, the predictions that we made for this week. Earlier in the week, throughout the week, now we're going to take a look at how everything unfolded. As you know, we made some forecasts with the Euro US dollar. We made some forecasts with the pound US dollar. And those were, I guess, some of the big movers of this week, because we had things setting up. And if you guys were watching my CFTC video that I did over the weekend, you would know that the the big highlight of that video was that there were signs that the Euro US dollar was going to drop. Okay, so that was the name of the video. Are there signs that Euro US dollar is about to drop? And obviously we also covered the pound US dollar, the Kiwi, US dollar, Japanese yen, US CAD, gold and oil, and more. And so we made a full detailed report for paying members with respect to what we expected out of price. And I just gave you a little bit of a hint in this video as to what we were expecting. And definitely a weakness in the Euro US dollar was definitely one of those main things that we were looking at. So that's what we're going to start by looking at today. We're going to start by looking at the Euro US dollar. And so at the time, price was right over here, okay? Right there. That's where price was, as you can tell when we did the screenshot. Right there. You see that? That's the same spot. Okay? Right there. That's where price was at the time. And this was just as price was about to break an ascending trend line. So we talked about this earlier this week, and what did we say? I said, don't take my word for it. I want you to watch for yourself and see what takes place. You remember I said that? All right. And what did I say was going to happen? Well, if you take a look at price action here, let me just get my pen. What happened here again with the Euro US dollar? Retail traders were lured into going long. Why would they be lured into going long? Well, because there was an ascending trend line here. And what do the conventional textbooks tell you to do when you are contacting an ascending trend line? They're told to buy, right? So this is why retail traders were offloading their short positions and getting into long positions. But then price started dropping. So what did they do? Instead of, have a very distinct area where they should be getting out, they just continue to add to their long positions, which is the worst possible thing you could be doing. So when it got to a point, I told you that they would get aggressive with their long positions as price is declining. And then eventually they would bail on those longs thinking, okay, it's time to bail because it doesn't look like price is going to be rallying. It looks like it's just going to continue lower. So let's bail on these long positions and start heading into short positions. And this is exactly what they did. And I told you it would cause price to rally up. And this is exactly what it did. And I also told you that it would cause price to rally up into where? Areas where the banks would be interested in selling. Okay? That's exactly what this area was up here. This was an institutional selling area. All right. So I was able to forecast exactly what was going to happen before it actually took place. The stages of the rally and what would cause it, and then the eventual drop and what would cause it. All right. So this drop from here to here is the banks filling in the sell orders that they started filling in this area. Okay. And so as retail traders were accumulating a short position, guess what they did with price? They rallied it up, right? And now what's happening? As price got up here, retail traders are thinking, uh-oh, this is not going to drop. It looks like it's just going to go higher. Right? This is what retail are thinking. It's just going to go higher. So they start bailing on their short positions. As you can see right here, it got to be 55% right here. Okay, they start bailing on their shorts, piling into longs, and then look where we're at right now. 86% long at the lows of price. So what do you think they're getting ready to do? I mean, you know, you could already forecast what's going to happen, right? You can already see what's going to happen. This is going to turn up like that because they're going to start to bail on their long positions and start getting into short positions, and that's what's going to cause the move to the upside. So in terms of accuracy of what we said was going to happen, this is 100% accurate. I don't think you can become more accurate than this, all right? The move to the downside we forecasted. The move to the upside we forecasted. The eventual move to the downside we forecasted. And every one of those moves took place. And now we're forecasting a move to the upside again. But that will likely happen next week. Likely. It could happen. It could start to happen midday today, but my suspicions is that we're going to see this next week. All right, so that was our forecast with the euro US dollar. Let's go over to the pound. And we had a very similar situation. The main theme we had in last week's EURUSD report for our members was the fact that we were suspecting the pound was going to drop significantly. And the reason for that was because of the positions held by the institutions, 123,000, and maximum size was 135,000. So I said, they're going to have to close off their long positions, and that's going to fuel a massive move to the downside. And this is exactly what took place. Okay. Price rallied up into where? This was an institutional supply zone that we had drawn out. Okay. This is an institutional selling area. You see how important it is to understand where the banks are selling? Because then you know exactly where price is going to be reversing when the storyline dictates there's going to be a reversal. Okay, 128 down to 125 in a matter of a couple of days. It's a huge drop in price, very huge. And again, if you look at where retail traders are with their positions right now, they're 86% long as price was dropping. They were short as they were rallying price. Then they offloaded those shorts for longs. Okay, 68% here. Adding more longs as price is dropping, 88% now. All right, so yes, indeed, we definitely see a move to the upside in the works here. So dead on accuracy with our forecasts. Look at that supply that came into play here. Just incredible. Just incredible. All right, so I hope you guys took advantage of some of that information that was provided to you. Let's see. We'll take a quick look at the US dollar Japanese yen. This one is, take special notice of this. 78% short right now. Okay, so you see the downside pressure that's taking place here. Yeah, we're likely going to see a continued move to the downside like this. Okay, high probability. Why? Because retail traders are going to bail on their shorts and start going long. So, of course, the banks are going to push price down. All right, so that's what we're watching for on that. Bitcoin, we were talking about Bitcoin. At the time, we were looking at this weekly chart here, and we saw a basing candle and this momentum candle to the downside. So I'm watching to see whether or not it's going to close below the wick of the basing, because if that does happen, that will signal that a move to the downside is likely. So it's below there now, but we haven't closed. So this week has to close before we can see how that is going to look. But, we have short-term demand in play right now, which you can see here on the 4-hour chart. So we could see some potential upside pressure build from there. Okay. All right, so let's go over to the S&P. We did a video about the S&P. Let's see how far back we have to go. Well, that's SMCI. Anyways, we did a video on the S&P, and we'd just like to bring that up right here. SP 500. That's the quickest way. There we go. The breaking news, double tests. I can't see it. Anyways, I will just put it here. Nope. Here. No. Anyways, we did a video on our target for the S&P being higher. It's on YouTube. You can see it. We did it just not too long ago. And why did we suspect that price was going to continue higher? Well, like I said, because we had upward trends, and we had trends being engaged with. And this was a 2-hour chart. We had an upward trend. We had demand right here. Price contacted demand, held it, and so it moved higher. So short-term trends are to the upside. Long-term trends are to the upside. Medium-term trends are to the upside. So all trends right now are currently to the upside. So there's no reason to suspect that price is going to be dropping. So here's a situation here on this short-term chart. And I'm going to draw a trend line here, like that. And I'm going to draw an area of demand here. And so let me just shorten this one because it's no longer necessary to have this one here. Just like that. So trend to the upside. So let's make sure this is an upward trend line. There you go. So any pressure to the downside is going to be met with significant buying from the big institutions here. So there's no reason to suspect that price is going to drop. Okay, there's no indication whatsoever on the charts that price is going to be dropping in any sustainable fashion. All trends are up. Institutions are coming in with significant buying. This is good to go for a move even higher. Now, Tesla, on the other hand, isn't looking so good. And I've been warning you guys about this one. All right. I told you back in the day that Elon Musk was offloading massive amount of shares right here, 4 billion, and continuing. And so there was a massive supply area that was created here from selling. Price came up, contacted that supply, and it's been downside pressure ever since. The last thing I mentioned was what was taking place here on the weekly chart, and that was a significant area that could have held price and pushed price to the upside, has since been removed. So, over time, the pressure is going to be to the downside with Tesla, all right? And it's still holding the lows right now. SMCI, this one was an interesting one. You remember we posted this clip from Wall Street Journal. Runaway sales of super microcomputer servers filled with NVIDIA's artificial intelligence chips are projected to double the company's revenue this year, and have moved it ahead of some of its biggest competitors. Okay, that took place, and then the following day, there was an article about how JP Morgan had, I don't know how many millions of shares for sale up here. So as the article was coming out saying that this is going to go skyrocketing, JP Morgan was selling, I can't remember how many shares of SMCI. I posted it on Twitter if you want to look up the details. So, it just goes to show you how the markets work, okay? The big banks need to offload a serious amount of shares. What do they need? They need buyers. So they put an article in the Wall Street Journal saying, revenue is going to double. Everybody gets excited. And this is what happens. But the truth of the matter is, right now, there's a massive area of supply up here, okay? So if price was to get up here, what do you think the bias is? The bias is price is going to drop from that area. So I would not be a buyer of super microcomputer at this point. I would stay well aware of it. It's not time to be buying this one. Okay, so be careful. This is what I always warn about these articles that come out, and they make things look so good, and before you know it, you're having the rug pulled from underneath you. All right, so I think that's about it. I would say we pretty much nailed it again this week. I don't think there's anything that we are talking about that didn't play out as we were expecting. One last quick thing, I will let you know that if you look at the currency pairs right now, let's look at them, okay? Let me show you something. Here is the Aussie US dollar. Right now, retail traders are 83% long. So what do you think the bias is? Upside. That's right. Upside. Okay. You look at the euro. Okay. We already briefly talked about this. And, there's a common theme throughout all these pairs that I want you to pay attention to. 86%. All right. 86%. You look at the pound US dollar again. 88%. Ooh, that's huge, right? Now let's look at the US CAD. US CAD, what are they at? 82% short. So what do you think it's likely going to do? Huh? Yes, that's the bias. US dollar, Japanese yen. What's the bias right now? What's retail traders? 78%. You see the downside pressure? They're already starting to offload their positions, okay? And US Swiss. What are we at? 82%. So what do you think the bias is? A push to the downside. That's the very likely bias, all right? So heading into this day, it's still early. This is the pressure that we're going to be seeing on these currencies. And heading into next week, it's likely going to continue, all right? So next week, when we do our live episodes, we'll delve into this a little bit more. We'll take a look at the positions of retail. We'll look at how things are playing out and give you a better idea of how things will likely unfold throughout the week. All right, ladies and gents, that is it for your Friday show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to join us, now's the perfect time to join us. We have live classes going on each and every week. We record them so that no matter where you live in this planet, you can watch them. Come and learn how to locate the supply and demand, do the analysis, draw your trend lines correctly, get into the minds of how the banks work with regards to currencies, gold, oil, stocks, you name it, we're doing it all, okay? So come and join us. We'd love to have you. And I'll let you look at this page if you'd like and give it some attention so you know exactly what it is that we have to offer you. All right, ladies and gents, that's it. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one. CFTC report data coming out soon. And so stick around on our Telegram channel and our Twitter, and I'll be posting some exclusive analysis for you guys. All right, that's it. Take care. Love you all. Bye.